Hey, Professor. So I wanted to get on here and talk about cultural humility. I watched the two videos uh that was linked to the material for the week on cultural humility, and the first video I watched was the cultural humility video by Vivian Chavez, and I learned that like the three things that make up, or the three dimensions of cultural humility, is like the lifelong learning. And like with that, I think I understand that um cultural humility is like the process of like keep like of continuous learning, and not just stopping at like what you think you know. um and I think that's like a important like thing to like conceptualize, because like it just like helps us understand that like we might not know everything, and like it's okay to not know. And like that, like I think she said that life is like this, or that like it's okay to not know sometimes. And then for the second for the second dimension, I think it's like um challenge like challenge like uh systems of power, or like it challenge like imbalances of power. And I think like that's also important to think about, because like I think like some the I think like the power is held by like people, and that like everybody has power, not just like certain people. And I think it's like very important to like understand that, and to like really figure out, or like really understand that power should be challenged. And that I think that everything should be like not questioned, but everything should like make sense to everybody, and for like everybody to benefit from like a system, not just like a few people. And to help others instead of like try to oppress them. And then like the third dimension is like um I think it's like institutional accountability. So like institutions should like be accountable, and like um uh they should be accountable, and practice these like dimensions, so that like it can help like society get better, and like help the people who might need it the most. And I think like the whole concept of cultural humility is like just like trying to like make the world a better place, and like trying to bring power like back to the people. Excuse me. I just think like you can like learn, and like progress in life to the point where like you know you want to help and see others like you know um go to like progress as like a community, because I feel like only like a certain like group of people benefit from like the systems that are placed, especially like people who like come from like wealthy families. And like I know that like it can be like sometimes like some people have like resources and some don't. So I think cultural humility is like trying to um create like a community where like power is shared between people, and that people are accountable for like making that community like a better place for people to and then like um trying to include others. And also I watched the video about the revolutionary truth about kids and gender identity, and I think that really opened my eyes because she talked about how like when you give like kids like the option, or like the option to like choose one color versus the other to like draw themselves, it's either pink or blue or pink. I think that like really limits their like what they can do, and like sets boundaries of what they can be. So like I think like if you give them both colors, they can kind of like draw themselves in like different ways, and it can like create different possibilities. And I think that's like a good way of like thinking, not just like it not just about gender but in all things. um so like one example would be like if you give like um I don't know about an example, but like it just really opened my eyes to like the possibilities that can be, and like the possibilities of like kids like expanding their thinking. And I just think that like society is like growing, and like being able to like uh to show like being able to express themselves is like a sign of like you know progressing, I guess. Cuz like but then I think like some kids like do sometimes get bullied, so that's like kind of like unfortunate. But doesn't take away the fact that like we're expanding our thinking. And it might not be the norm, but like small steps like can help, especially the LGBTQ community. I think like um well, I just think like they're like trying to like make everybody feel welcomed and belonged. So like that's really cool for them, like uh especially like people who like identify like they them, or like she they, and like people like that. So I think that's really cool that they're doing that for the community. And yeah, also I read the article called Cultural Humility: The Basics, and then it talked about how like this is an article by the University of Oregon. And then is the definition of cultural humility is like cultural humility is a practice of self-reflection of how your own background and the background of others impact teaching, learning, research, creative activity, engagement, and leadership. So I think like that also gives me like a perspective on like what cultural humility is. And like this goes back to like the first video that I watched, that like cultural humility is like lifelong learning. And yeah, I think like that's a really really cool concept, that like um well, like that you don't stop learning at like a certain point in your life, you keep on learning. And I just think that's really helpful because you could be in a community, and then think you know everything, but then you join another community, and then that like opens up your eyes to like different perspectives. And I just think like that whole concept is just really important, and like it should be practiced more. And that's really all about that. That's everything I have for this topic. But like, I just think cultural humility is a really important thing to like to practice. Thank you, Professor.